Alright, hey everybody, it's Itzley Haircut. I'm here at the Switchbacks Trail in Whittier, California. I'm going to be testing out the Mazatli sandals here on this terrain. I'm going to let you know how it goes. Switchbacks, very steep incline over here. And so, very rocky terrain. So far, Mazatli's doing well. So again, the really cool thing is, this is what our ancestors would be using if they were navigating this kind of terrain. And so that's the really cool thing about these Mazatlis. They're ancestral. And of course, like I stated, or I'll let you know a little bit later, there is some science to support the idea that, the closer to the ground you are as you're going in this terrain, the better it is for your body. And so right now I'm starting to run. I'm running back down now. And so it's a slight decline right now. And so again, you can see the rocky terrain is here. I'm navigating it pretty well with these. And the great thing about them is they don't slip at all when you're going. There's all these rocks, but I'm not getting any rocks in my sandals because of the design. It's so tight on your foot, it kind of fits like a glove. So there's really not a lot of separation between your foot and the bottom of the sandal. And so as a result, it just kind of stays on, and there's not a lot of space for any rocks or debris to get in. And I intentionally came to this particular trail so you can see what it's like on rocky terrain. Down, this is a little decline. And so I'm just going to show you as I go. These Mazatlis, they actually have pretty good grip. I'm going slow, but they really, since they're so close to the ground, they really hug the terrain pretty well. And so usually, I've been down this part before with different shoes, but usually it's a little difficult and it's kind of slippery. But in these, I didn't feel any difficulty, or I didn't feel like I was going to slip at any point. So right now, finishing up the second mile of my hike here with the Mazatli sandals. And you know what? They've held up much better than I thought. People thought I was kind of crazy coming up here with sandals, So I had some people looking at me, looking at the sandals, but I think I'm gonna use them on my hikes actually now, just because I didn't realize how well they were gonna hug to the terrain and hug to my feet. And so I think that they're far superior to a lot of the shoes that I own. And it really just makes a lot of sense that our ancestors, and even natives today in communities all over Mexico, still use this style of sandal, right? Because it actually makes sense. In this kind of terrain, it's actually much superior to a lot of the tennis shoes that you can get right now. Those are all real slippery, and they just don't handle like these do. And so overall, very, very impressed. Check out the rest of the video where I'll go over some other comparisons and some research studies regarding footwear. Everybody, it's the haircut here from kalnakakanawak.com, and I'm just gonna review some sandals that I just got, and these are from the company Mazatli Footwear. And these are really unique because they're kind of just trying to replicate the original dual toe post that was around back in pre-Columbian times. If you look at the codices and a lot of statues, you can see that a lot of different groups, including the Maya, Tlaxcalteca, throughout Anahuac, they had this dual toe post on their sandals. And so this is a Anahuac spin to the sandal. But as you can see, it's a modern spin as well. Okay, it's got the you got the dual toe post. You have these dual straps here, so you can actually size them on both sides. And you have the nice little logo here, Mazatli, and there's also a strap in the back with another logo here. So this color is the midnight blue, and so I've been testing them out for the past week just to see how they hold up, and as far as how they compare with other sandals and shoes that I have. And so, you know, to begin, I really gravitated toward these sandals because I mean, obviously the Mesoamerica idea behind it was first and foremost, but the other thing that I really gravitated towards was just the size of the sandal itself. It's actually not as thick as some of the other sandals that you might find with similar designs. Like if you get some huaraches, for example, you know, you have a really thick, hard sole. And so something like this, not very flexible. You know, these are not designed for any kind of sports wears or anything like that. The Mazatli sandal is actually designed as a sport wear sandal. And so there's a really famous book called Born to Run, and it was basically, it was a white American, and he was one of the first to notice that the Tarahumara from Chihuahua, that they were very good ultra distance runners. And so, you know, they had a lot of ultra marathons over here, and eventually some of the Tarahumaras came down to the marathons, and you know, all of the white Americans were really amazed by them because they were able to run and keep pace with them, and sometimes even win these races. And they were wearing traditional dress. You know, the women were wearing their traditional dress, and the men as well. And so they didn't have any of these modern equipment that all of these ultra marathoners have today. And so it was really mysterious at first. They said, wow, you know, how are these Tarahumaras able to run so well and so far? And so one of the secrets that he discovered was that the Tarahumara, they actually use a special food while they're running. That's called the pinole. And pinole is actually just roasted corn. And so they use this to carry it with them while they're running, and it helps to allow them to run long distances because it's roasted corn, pinole. It's actually very compact, so you can actually carry a lot with you. And so as they're on these ultra marathons, you know, that are over 10 miles, they're able to keep pace because they're able to have that energy that you need if you're participating in an ultra marathon. And so that's one of the secrets they found. The other secret is the Tarahumaras, the whole culture is just kind of based off of running. And so everybody runs, everybody's expected to run. They have races all the time. And so this is just a normal part of their community. And so it's a deep part of their culture. And the other thing that they found is, you know, as they were running, they had these traditional sandals. And so they would make their own sandals, and they look very similar to these. And so they were able to run long distances while wearing sandals. Another big surprise by white Americans, but that actually led white Americans to start to think, okay, maybe there's something to this thin sole. And so what they started to do is they started a barefoot movement. And so the barefoot movement is basically saying, you know, instead of a very thick sole, why don't we make shoes that have very thin soles? In fact, these are so thin that you can actually bend the shoe itself. And so this is an extreme barefooting example. This is a company, Merrill, and so they're one of the companies that make these barefooting shoes. But again, they were all inspired by that book, Born to Run. I highly recommend it, about the Tarahumaras. And so the idea was, maybe there's some science to it. Maybe the Tarahumaras, you know, they're running closer to the ground, and as a result of running closer to the ground, there's some physical benefits that come out of that. And so that's the result. And there's been a lot of research that has been done, and there are some studies that do show that it is beneficial when you're running closer to the ground, barefoot like this. And so that led me to then, get interested in the Mazatli sandals, and I tried them. The thing that really interested me was the fact that obviously it's a sandal like similar to the Tarahumaras who run regularly, but also it's got these dual toe posts, and it actually, I thought maybe it'd add additional stability compared to maybe a sandal like this, that just has one strap. And so I felt like maybe this is a sports sandal that you can use while running. And so I tried these ones out during danza practice, and I realized that they were real clunky, and it was really hard to dance because you had to lift your foot way up off the ground, and they just were not suitable for that kind of intense activity. And so what I did instead is I tried these at danza practice, and it was like night and day. You were able to do all of the moves, the jumping moves and all the running moves that are required of danza. But the thing about it is you never feel like your sandal's like about to fall off or it's getting loose because of this design. And like I said, you can adjust the strap so that it's as tight or as loose as you need. And so if you're that one time, my foot started to fall to the side, and so I just came over and I just adjusted the straps, and it was fixed. And so it's a very good design, very very strong sandals. I actually went to Jose's his warehouse where he makes the sandals, and he showed me all of the machinery. It's all professional machinery. These are all professionally made, and 400 pounds of force per thread. And so these are very sturdy. They're not going to come out. They're not going to break anytime soon. And like I said, I've done a few activities with them. I've ran a few miles now wearing these, and honestly, I actually like them a little better than the actual barefooting shoes, because I barefoot when I run, or walk. I have barefooters, and so I'm used to it. And so this is actually a little bit more comfortable, I would say, and it's a little easier to run in than even the barefooters. And I think it's because it still has that flexibility there of the barefoot shoes, but at the same time it has that stability here on top. And so it holds your foot in place as you're running. And so I highly recommend these sandals. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the chat. But as far as comfort, extremely comfortable. I wear them around the house. I wear them out for walks and running. So in fact, I think they're more comfortable than these ones. With these, after a while, if I'm running in them, my feet will start to ache a little bit. But here, comfort is really good, and like I said, the way that you can adjust it and the flexibility of it all really makes them even more helpful when you're doing your everyday tasks. So those are the Mazatli footwear. I'll put the link in the description. Go out and get a pair. There's a lot of different colors. In fact, I wanted some of the other colors as well. There was olive green. There was all black, there was red. There's a lot of different colors that you can pick from. And so Jorge does a great job making the sandals. He's working real hard. And he did a Kickstarter to get all of his equipment. So like I said, he has all of the appropriate equipment and he said he's gonna make a lifetime warranty off of these coming in December. So you can start looking out for them in December at the link below. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. But thanks for watching.